hello and welcome to today's painting stream. How are we doing, everybody watching in the chat? We're live again on another Sunday evening. Today I am painting up some word bearers, which seems slightly heretical, but yeah, I've found a really good Duncan Rhodes has got a really cool video on how to do dead easy word bearers. So yeah, I'm basically stealing that and nailing a load of word bearers, because next week we've got the Warzone Charadon book 2 on the way, and I believe it includes rules for including mixed marines and demon armies, which appeals to all of my likes right there. And coincidentally, it also features another faction, doesn't it? The Sisters of Battle. And you are currently painting some Adepta Sororitas, aren't you, Jay?
I am. I'm painting the High Lord. So I've been busy on this all day, actually. So I possibly might be able to finish it on the stream today.
And she's looking really cool already.
Yeah. She's. I mean, when we first saw this model previewed and like the Paragon Warsuit, and it's almost like a mini Imperial Knight with the shoulder pads. I'm painting it up. It feels like I'm painting like a Adeptus Titanicus scale Knight.
Ace. No, that looks really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing her done. So yeah, I fairly easy stream today. I'm basically colouring in. So this technique that Duncan's got basically sprays it silver, puts a controlled kind of layer of Basilicarum grey over it all, just to darken it down, and really that gives you your shading for all the silver trim. And then yeah, go in with contrast, thin it down a tiny bit with a little bit of water, just water as well.
Water.
And then get most of it off your brush, and then basically, like a felt tip pen, just go around and colour in the model. So yeah, dead easy to do. So that's the plan today. So we've got a couple of people watching in the chat. Obviously, we're over on YouTube and simultaneously on Twitch. So feel free to shout up and join along at home. Let us know what you're painting. Are you getting involved with any Warhammer this weekend? We've had a fairly AOS themed couple of weeks, haven't we, Jay? We've done a few 3rd edition battles, haven't we?
Yeah. But, the new Path to Glory.
Yeah, but this is the first 40k we've done for a couple of weeks.
It is, yeah. I've been working flat out really on the Luminef for the last couple of months. But I have this week been building up a load of sisters. So I've got here in front of me, these are the new Celestian Sacrosancts. They're really nice.
Yeah, I'm very, very tempted to pick up some of them myself. They're really nice models, aren't they?
They are. They're like, I mean, they are really, really cool. They almost look like they could fit into an Age of Sigmar force if they didn't have like the backpacks on, because they're quite medieval looking with the halberds and the shields.
Yeah, they're like an elite kind of close combat bodyguard unit, aren't they?
They are. That's right. Yeah, cool bodyguard unit. They've got some nice stratagems and synergies in the book, which can make them a bit of a tough nut to crack. And they've also their actual weapons are not too bad either. I think they're AP -3, damage 1. They might be, but I think they might be strength +1 or strength +2.
Yeah, I mean even if they're low damage, if they've got high AP and high strength, they can crack, Custodes, Space Marines, that kind of stuff, can't they? Yeah, that's cool. We're still missing a few kits, aren't we, for the sisters? I kind of expected them to be on the pre-order this week. What with the sisters being featured in Warzone Charadon, but
I forgot about them. Yeah, the Castigate. There's a couple actually. A couple of the characters, the auto standard.
Yeah. So yeah, the tank, a couple of characters. I'll probably forgetting something big as well. I'm sure anyone in the chat who remembers all will remind us. But yeah, it does seem like we're missing a couple of kits. So yeah, very strange that. I don't know why they're not out yet. I guess obviously the focus for Games Workshop has probably been getting Dominion out, hasn't it?
Yeah, well that's it. I mean, pretty much everything has been overshadowed at the moment by Dominion. The new Stormcast and Cruel Boy stuff, the General's Handbook. It is very much Age of Sigmar at the moment, isn't it, the focus?
Yeah. Now, obviously we've been lucky enough to have our hands on Dominion for the last few weeks and played some games. But have you managed to have a look at the models yet? Because I don't think you've really... You didn't paint any of the ones in the new set. Have you managed to build any yet, or have a look at the sprues?
Nope, I've not even opened the box yet.
Not even
So
opened the box yet.
no, I'm gonna take it round to my brothers, and we're gonna open it together so we can grab his cruel boys, because he's gonna be doing a cruel boy army.
Well, that's cool.
The Stormcast look really, really nice, and I'm really tempted to get those Stormcast painted up. But they're at the bottom of a queue at the moment, so
Yeah, we do have a bit of a painting backlog between us, don't we?
yeah.
I mean, regular listeners all know we ping pong between projects anyway, but I think we've gotten better. You know, we to be fair, we tend to finish projects that we start.
Yeah.
You know, we take the mickey out of Dave a lot for jumping from hobby to hobby, but he's focused on his Skaven and his Astra Militarum as well. I was trying to tempt him into the way of chaos just before we started. He can't make it today, sadly, but no, he's staying true to the Emperor with the Astra Militarum. Because no, he had been swayed by what was he going to do? Iron Warriors.
Iron Warriors, that was right, yeah. And I know also he's been thinking about Ultramarines for the Horus heresy as well.
Ultramarines. That's cool. Now, obviously, I guess, I mean, the smart money's on new heresy box at some point, isn't it? So,
yeah,
we bought a load of the resin stuff, didn't we, at the start of the year? But you know that was good. We've got a bit of a head start. I mean, I've got a painted Sons of Horus army now, which is good for when that does drop. And you've been rattling through some Blood Angels. I think are in pretty good shape, aren't they?
Yeah, I've got what have I got painted for the Blood Angel? I've got 2 Dreadnoughts painted, a Leviathan and a Contemptor. I've got the Primarch painted, I have a Praetor painted, I've got 10 Angels Tiers, which are like the elite destroyers for the Blood Angels, painted. And I've got 10 Dawnbreakers, Dawnbreakers, can't remember now. They're like the close combat spear-armed jump marines. They're built and based, and a couple of them have been taken to the next layer in terms of they're putting the red on. So I need to get. Yeah, I mean, I sort of burnt myself out painting them. I was quite focused on them at the beginning of the year, and then I put them down. I went back to the Lumineth then, and it's been Lumineth ever since then. But I think once that Horus Heresy box comes out, the Blood Angels will be coming straight back to the painting table.
Do you think you'd be doing Blood Angels with the box, and would that just spur you on to get them out again? Because we don't know. I suppose at this moment we don't know whether it's just a new edition with the current rules, or they do something completely different. And you know, you for a long time wanted to see 9th edition style rules for Heresy.
Yeah. Well, that's it. We don't know whether it's part of a bigger wave of releases, perhaps. With Jump Marines, really the thing that I need for the Blood Angels, which you can't get in plastic at the moment.
And this is it, isn't it? I guess the thing holding back Heresy from being like super kind of available to all is the fact that a lot of those units can only be got from Forge World. So I wonder if there will be, and there's been some rumours as well, about a bit of a push to have all those building blocks of your army available in plastic, and then just more the specialist stuff that's in resin from Forge World. So we could well see, Assault Marines, all the different armor marks, all that kind of stuff as plastic kits, and then keep all the Legion specific stuff, the Primarchs, all that stuff as resin kits, because again, really that's more your specialist stuff then, isn't it?
Yeah, that would be fantastic. Based on what we know, what we think is going to be in the box, what we've seen so far, I think they will. See, I've got some Dark Angels that have started, and I've got some Imperial Fists that have started, but I think I will probably, if that's all we're getting in plastic, they will probably be Imperial Fists, and then I will have to probably bite the bullet and buy some Assault Marines if I can to finish off the Blood Angels, and then I've got a cool Siege of Terror inspired Heresy armies then. So
yeah. Well, I guess I'm in the unusual position where my Sons of Horus are pretty much done. Me Emperor's Children are pretty much done. I've got bits of a White Scars army, but that I very much want focused on all the bikes and cool stuff, so they wouldn't be going into them. So maybe, I've really enjoyed painting these word bearers, to be fair.
I was going to say, do some word bearers.
Already, it's a really nice like metallic red that you get by putting it over the silver, so yeah, I might do some word bearers. And we've seen one of the models that's come in for the word bearers, that I forget what his name is. Essentially
Argyle Tal.
Argyle Tal, yeah. Kind of first Golvor Brack, is he? Something like that.
Yeah,
I've not read it for a
he was the
while.
first heretic. Actually, he first appeared in the Dan Abnett's first Horus Heresy book. Not Dan Abnett, Aaron Dembski-Bowden's first Horus Heresy book.
Yeah. Oh,
And,
First Heretic's such a good book, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's where they get sort of like lost in the warp, don't they, in different times.
Yeah.
And I'm
I've
pretty
argued
sure the Custodian Guard in that, you know.
the Custodian are in that, yeah, because they're on the ship, aren't they, with the word bearers, and they see them all training like they fight individually, don't they?
Yeah.
And he sees all their fighting style. Yeah, I love that book. I'd argue that's the best book for getting into the Horus Heresy. More so than the initial 3 books, just because it kind of sets up the story.
Yeah, I think you had the first 3, didn't you? And then there was Flight of the Eisenstein. That was the 4th one, wasn't it? And then First Heretic, I think, was almost like... Yeah, that was when the heresy started, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, this is set quite some time before then, isn't it? With, what, Monarchia, is it? The planet that the Emperor essentially nukes for the crime of worshipping the Emperor?
I can't remember now, yeah, where the Ultramarines just watch.
Yeah. Yeah. And I can't... Malcador's there, isn't it? I think he gives the order to do the deed.
Gilliman, yeah. I was never a fan of the Ultramarines, and I've got a massive 40,000 Warhammer 40,000 Ultramarines army, and the reason I built and painted that Ultramarines army was basically reading about the Ultramarines in Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
Some of my favourite Horus Heresy books are the Ultramarines. Mark of Calth is amazing.
Yeah, you know what? If Dave does Ultramarines, we could do some Battle of Calth themed battles as well, couldn't we? Oh,
Yeah.
Anonymous Rex in the chat. Hi guys, enjoying the rain. Yeah, the weather ain't great today. I don't know if you can hear it through my mic, but it is hammering it down outside. And it's kind of a bit humid and stuffy, so I've got the window open because it's just horrible weather today, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bonkers.
A bit tropical. What are you doing, Anonymous Rex? Are you having a good weekend? Are you doing any hobby alongside us? I'm continuing my descent into chaos. Which is no surprise, really, because I've always been the chaos player out of the group, haven't I?
Yeah.
But surprisingly, I don't think... I'm fairly certain I've not done a 40k Chaos Space Marines army. Obviously, I've done a few traitor armies for Heresy, but yeah, I don't think I've ever done... Maybe a long time ago, I think I did a Chaos Space Marine army back in my youth, but certainly not any time recently, so... And you know what? These Marine models are pretty nice. I think they're slightly shorter than Primaris Marines, but they're taller than Classic Marines, aren't they? I think they scaled them up a little bit when they did the recent... it was recent, only a couple of years ago, wasn't it? They got red
It was Shadow Spear, wasn't it? With the Vanguard Primaris, yeah. The new Chaos Space Marines are brilliant. Of course, you've got a lot of stuff in that box which hasn't been released separately yet, I don't think.
We have, yeah. So, the Obliterators, they are currently exclusive to that box. We've got the Great Possessed. They're really nice models. They're very Golvor Brack, aren't they? You've got the Master of Possessions, who looks after putting demons into demon engines. And then finally, we've got the big demon engine thing, Venom Crawler or something. I can't remember what it's
Venom Crawler,
called.
yeah.
But yeah, they're all really fun. Anonymous Rex is building and cleaning the Warcry Monsters box. And if we have time, I'll get onto my Mortal Realms kits. Is that the one with the Furies and the Raptorixes? They're really cool models. And that's something we haven't played yet either, isn't it? Warcry.
Well, me and Dave have played it.
Yeah.
And it's good. We really enjoyed it.
We need to get back on that, don't we?
Yeah.
It's that's the problem. There's so many games that we want to play, so little time.
That is the problem.
And obviously for the website content, we want to try and put up stuff people will want to watch. So obviously the focus at the minute has been on playing 3rd edition Sigmar. And we've been talking about doing some Adepta Titanicus battles. We've been talking about doing some more 40k. I think next week, the week after, obviously with the new supplement on the way, I think we'll probably have a couple of 40k shows, won't we?
Yeah.
And then maybe it might be a 40k heavy July, because I believe the Orcs launch box out then as well, isn't it? Or at least pre-order in July.
The beast snaggers.
Beast snaggers, yeah. So I mean, on the plus side, I've got an Orc army good to go. So as soon as we've got that in our hands, we can get a battle on the go, can't we?
Yeah.
And Honest Rex has got them to go along with the Corvus Cabal in my Slaves to Darkness army. Nice. I reckon we might be seeing Slaves to Darkness sooner than later as well. So obviously yesterday we had the big preview show, didn't we? And they didn't mention it on the actual stream, but on Warhammer Community they mentioned that there's a Chaos Battle Tome coming in October. Now there's a very kind of obvious Chaos Space Marine, a Chaos Chosen it looks on the cover of the Stormcast Battle Tome. Now I don't know if it is a Chosen or it's just a warrior. It certainly looks new. However, we have been stung by that in the past, and yeah, it seems that maybe the case where in the past models that weren't featured wouldn't appear on the front cover of Battle Tome. That's clearly not the case anymore, because we've seen a few things now on covers of books that haven't been in the book itself. So maybe they've got a bit more what's the word? Artistic license.
Yeah, I mean, there's that on the Stormcast book, and then there's a couple of cool looking flying things on the Warclans book as well.
Yeah, well, we know that there's more coming for both of those armies, and Games Workshop tends to keep the kind of big surprise, doesn't it, for the big centerpiece models until they're closer to the time, and they're out in August, I believe. So we've got quite a bit of time until these models are out in the wild. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a few surprises for both of these armies. Stormcast in particular, dragons. There's got to be dragons, hasn't there?
I hope so.
It'd be like the coolest thing ever. We know that Kragnos has got issues with dragons as well. He's got rules that interact with drakes, which don't currently exist. It makes sense that there'd be a drake coming out at the same time, because essentially Kragnos' first proper 3rd edition rules will be in the Orruk Warclans book as well.
Yes.
Which potentially going to be different than the ones that we've currently got.
Yeah, you might have a new war scroll.
Yeah, so yeah, that's exciting. If it is Slaves to Darkness, that'd be cool. I roll Ever Chosen, so I've not got many models in mind, but I have got all of the Warcry warbands. It'd be cool to put together. And it's been on the to-do list for ages, but I've always thought it'd be cool to put together an army themed around these different warring factions.
I was going to say, yeah, you were going to do that at one point, weren't you?
Yeah, and there's rules that let you do that now, because they can all become battle line. But obviously, if there's a new book out in a few months, it might make it easier to do that.
Yeah.
So, and that'd be really fun, because then my logic with that is a bit more interesting than the the Marauders are really old now, aren't they? And I can see those Warcry warbands replacing the Marauders, really.
Yeah, the Marauders are an old kit now.
In this similar role, haven't they? Obviously, the Chaos Warriors, Chaos Knights got a push fit kit a year or two ago, but I don't believe they updated any of the separate kits for them, so that's an obvious choice for them as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a book that needs plastic sort of some plastic love, isn't it?
But I guess maybe 3rd edition is where we see some like Gravelord style love, where those old armies that are cool, but some of the kits are getting a bit long in the tooth now, get updates rather than new units invented. Let's see if we said that, but essentially there's a whole army's worth of new models for the Stormcast and the Cruel Boys, isn't there?
Yeah.
But I suppose that's a bit different, isn't it? Because it gives them a chance to make 2 new armies, doesn't it? Essentially, Stormcast have got so many new units there, and the Cruel Boys is essentially a new faction of orcs. It's It's exciting to see what they do, though. So we're not expecting the Warriors are still the repacked sprues from the old. So in that stock collecting box, they're new push fit ones. But just in that, so the other boxes that you can buy are still the old ones. The new push fit ones are really, really nice, and the new push fit Chaos Knights are amazing. Yeah, I do like my Chaos. I wonder that's one possibility. The other possibility, of course, is a faction that we've got in the game that doesn't have a battle tome at the minute, and that's the Legion of the First Prince. And that'd be a nice way of redoing all of the demon profiles before they get done into updated god-specific books as well.
I was also thinking it could be Beastmen.
Beastmen, yeah, Beastmen haven't got some love for a long time. That'd be good. Fits with the Realm of Beasts kind of vibe that we've got for this season as well. I mean, any of those. I mean, what else, other chaos books we've got? We've got the Maggotkin of Nurgle. That's a really old book that could probably do with an update. We saw a few things updated for that in Broken Realms. New Sloppity Bow Piper profile, new Chaos Beast profile. Some new kits for them would be fun. Maybe some Pestigores.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be ace actually, wouldn't it? Pestigores.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah, the Maggotkin, they don't like the each have the Zangors, don't they?
Yeah.
You've got the Slangors as well for Slanesh. So yeah, some Pestigores, and of course then that all then can be used in a Beast of Chaos refresh when that book comes out.
Yeah, and it gives you another battle line option as well for different looking armies. Yeah, that'd be cool. In fact, you could do a whole new book and have a couple of waves of the Nurgle worshipping beast stuff. Like you say, then has got dual purpose in a Beast of Chaos army.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, the Stormcast. I mean, I think all three of us, me, you, and Dave, are all pretty much sold on a Stormcast army.
Yeah, well, I mean, everyone's getting Dominion, so I mean, most people are going to be thinking, well, you know, just take that up to 2,000 points with a new Stormcast release is a bit of an obvious. I think a lot of people will be doing it.
Yeah, and it you know, what really helps that is that the models are gorgeous, and the new ones they showed yesterday, they're phenomenal, aren't they?
Yeah, that Lord is amazing.
The what is he? The Lord Commander of the Hammers of Sigmar.
Yeah, he's awesome.
When I first saw the reveal, I thought, oh, is that Sigmar? With his John Moraz looking hammer, and he kind of looks a bit Primarch scale, doesn't he?
Does, yeah.
But yeah, it's obviously Sigmar's far too busy to go and fight battles himself, so he sends someone else to do it. Sure, he's the bad guy in all this. That's he's really fun. I really like the new battle line unit with the great swords.
Yeah, they are fantastic.
Go really well. So I've got the box that Games Workshop very kindly sent us, the Stormcast out of there, and Dave did the Cruel Boys, and we all got another copy of Dominion. So I've got another set of them to build.
Didn't you buy the Vanguard stuff as well?
I did, yeah. So I've got.
The plan
is if I can get. So most of the stuff out of Dominion is really good for the Stormcast because you can use it twice really. So I'll be able to have 2 units of 10 Vindictors. I think that's a really good battle line option because obviously you can get the models back using the Indrasta. It's a lot of the match play missions you got to kill battle line units, so that's quite a tough battle line unit to chew through, isn't it?
Yeah.
Big blocks of 10 of them. They've got reach on the spear, so you're not really hindering yourself by taking 10 of them as well, where some units work better with a small footprint. I don't think they're really impacted by that too much. And then for my third battle line, I'll probably go for a unit of the new sword guys because they look ace, regardless of what the rules do. Interestingly, though, you can do an entirely ranged Stormcast army with the new stuff as well, they said. So if you take the new Lord with a bow, you unlock I forget what they're called, but the new kind of ranger-looking guys as battle line.
Yeah, the scouts, yeah.
And they look really nice as well, because shooting is pretty strong in 3rd edition as well.
Looking forward to seeing the chariot.
Chariot, yeah. Yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, so most of the Stormcast stuff, bar the heroes, and I can sell the heroes or convert them up or even use them as nice kind of like display pieces, paint them up properly rather than me need to get it painted in a week that I did for the other stuff. For the Cruel Boys, you've got less value in duplicates just because the Gut Ripper box when it comes out have got command options, so and you don't get them in the stuff in Dominion.
Okay.
So unless you're happy to convert up your banner bearer, your squad leader, your hornblower, if you want multiple units of Gut Rippers, you're probably better off buying the box when it comes out. That said, you've got if you had 2 boxes, you've got 6 of the Bolt Boys who are pretty good. You've got more Hobgrots than you'd know what to do with. They're currently not battle line, but I do wonder if something in the book maybe makes them battle line, in which case that gives you a nice cheap battle line option.
Yeah, I see. I mean, I don't know. Not seen the book. It's quite possible they get a conditional battle line, but I thought the fact that they're mercenaries.
Yeah, they're not. They actually kind of technically fight for the Chaos Dwarves, don't they?
Yeah. So I thought, that might maybe they would be battle line if you could take some sort of Chaos Dwarf Paymaster or something.
That'd be cool.
But I don't know. There might be something in there that makes them battle line. A lot of battle tomes do have that sort of rule, don't they?
I think you're right though, because I don't think they're going for a horde army with these. I think they're going to be quite more elite than some other Orruk armies. Because I think it's about 180 points off the top of my head for a unit of Cruel Boys. I don't think they're cheap. Maybe
no, they're not cheap. No,
180.
they're not cheap. But I didn't realize they've got 2 wounds each as well, haven't they? So yeah, they are elite, sort of.
Let me see. We've got handily point values here. So the Orruk War Clans, the Cruel Boys are Gut Rippers are 180 points. That was well remembered. So yeah, I think the focus of them is obviously. I think what they've done is quite good, isn't it? They've got different styles of Orruk army then that you can build with the Orruk War Clans. Because we thought for a while that it was going to be a Cruel Boys battle tome, didn't we?
Yeah.
Even when a lot of the stuff in Dominion pointed to it, I was like, well, that makes it compatible with the 2nd edition stuff until the proper book comes out. But no, they are. We are expecting a full Orruk War Clans book, which is cool because it means you can have a mixture of stuff. You can kind of double down onto just one part of the Orruk War Clans. I think that's quite a nice way of doing it.
It's going to be like a Cities of Sigmar type book for destruction at the end of the day, isn't it? With all the different kinds of builds. You can have Savage Orcs, Ard Boys, the old... Is it Iron Jaws or...
Yeah, I forget what they're called now. Yeah. They've probably got a special Orky name. They are Iron Jaws, but I don't know if they've got another name for the clan. David now. We've got Steve Harbour in the chat. How are we doing? Are you well? What are you working on today? I'm painting Word Bearers. And Jay is working on, what's her name? Morven Val, the High Lord of Terror.
Morven Val, yeah. They're also sort of word bearers in a way, aren't they, I guess?
They are, yeah.
Imperial word bearers.
Ironically, they are literally spreading the word of the Emperor, Yeah. My lad's got in a bit of trouble for that. Controversial. So, yeah. I think I've gone off on a tangent now. What are we on about? Oh, yeah, so Orruks. Yeah, so I can see more likely maybe than the Hobgrots is something making the Bolt Boys into battle line with a similar logic to the Stormcast bow hero making a bow army possible.
Yeah.
A heavy bow Cruel Boys army would be quite nasty because they're all poisoned as well, aren't they?
They are. They do multiple damage and they do mortal wounds based on the damage, don't they?
Yeah.
And I think there's ways to buff the damage they were saying on the stream with one of the new units. I think it was the big crawling sort of monster thing.
Yeah. And you see that's the other bit though, isn't it? That's got a goblin crew on it. So maybe there is maybe that's got a goblin HQ option to represent a force of Hobgrots.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Because they did say that we haven't seen everything yet as well. So
no,
that's cool. I really like these chaos Space Marine models. Why have I not painted any Chaos Space Marines before, Jay?
I have no idea.
That's
There's
kind
one
of
in
my
there.
thing, isn't it?
Yeah, there's one in there as well. I think with the like the rotor cannon, isn't there? Which is awesome. And I love the way like that some of them are holding like the bolters with the ammo belts over their arms and things.
Yeah, they're really cool because these are the kind of they're not push fit, but they're mono build ones. I've also got one of the. I mean, well, you know, I've two of the boxes. I've got a lot of Chaos Space Marines that have been under my desk for a long time and just never got around to build them. To be honest, I was kind of expecting us to have a Chaos Space Marine 9th edition book by now, and that's really why I haven't painted them. Because I was very excited to get started, but I didn't want to build up an army and then kind of want to change some of the weapon options, because early on in 9th we saw some quite restrictive kind of rules on what weapons you can take. Like I know a lot of Death Guard players were a bit upset that a lot of their models that they'd built and couldn't really use anymore without changing the unit makeup quite a bit. So I didn't want to be in that position, but to be honest, I might just build them and, you know, run with it anyway.
Yeah, add some more if you need to change the weapon options. It doesn't take long to paint up, does it? At least you can start using them.
At the end of the day, it's only going to be a weapon option that I need to swap out, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and they are really fun. And, you know, I guess unlike those other armies, the numbers of weapons that you can take in a squad are fairly regimented in Space Marines of both flavours anyway, aren't they?
I was just gonna say, is that the same thing? I says you're probably not going to see much change in the basic Chaos Warrior.
No.
You might just see, you know, some of your elite weapons. Every now and then they sort of, you know, the mace is the best build, and then now the power sword is the best build.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about things being the best build. It's more kind of, say for example, I forget what they're called, but the destroyer equivalent, Havocs.
Yeah, you've got two, haven't you? You've got no, Havocs are the Devastators, aren't they?
Yeah. So
what are the Raptors?
Raptors
and Warp Talons.
Yeah, that's it. The Havocs, I guess, could be one that we could see. You can only build a loadout based on what's in the box that we've seen in a few other books, where it might be a better build to buy enough kits to have essentially a Horus heresy loadout where you've got a lead and then 4 las cannons or 4 rotor guns or something.
Yeah.
I suspect we might see a move to you can have XYZ based on what's in the box. But I think that'd be a bit restrictive though, because we don't see that in Space Marines, do we?
No, and I'm pretty sure with the Sisters of Battle they changed it so you can be quite flexible with what you can take.
I wonder if they had quite a backlash with the strict weapon options in those early books, and they've eased off on that a little bit.
Possibly.
Because I think I get the idea, and it was sound, wasn't it, to make sure that you're not penalised for just buying a box and building it how you like.
Yeah.
Where I guess for tournament play and stuff, that is part of it, isn't it? Considering what weapon options to take, and by limiting those options, arguably creates less interest in play because you're just going to take the same options for everything.
And then you've got on the flip side, you've got the Tau who don't get enough weapons to do what they want to do.
Yeah, so you know, there's arguments each way, isn't there? And unfortunately, you're never going to win, are you? One faction will be upset if you go.
Yeah.
You know, you can only use what's in the box. Equally, you feel like you have to buy multiple boxes if they don't. So it's a bit of a catch-22, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, I guess with Sisters, the difference is that all those heavy weapons are universal across the entire army. So I don't know if you've built any yet, but you can easily put the multi-melters out of one kit on your basic infantry squad.
Oh yeah, you get a load of weapons spare, and like you say, yeah, there's not much difference between a model armed with a heavy bolter in a Retributor squad with one in a Battle Sister squad. So
yeah, there's a few. You need to check the models just to make sure it'll fit okay, but generally speaking, you can pretty much put any weapon out of any kit on any body, which is really good design, isn't it?
I'm having fun building them. They're really, really nice models. They're really, really well sculpted, dead detailed. Really, the poses are so cool. It's like a hobby, sort of a painter's dream, really. The Sisters of Battle army. I'm finding that really nice models.
They are really, really fun. Steve Albert says, fine, thanks. Building French Napoleonics cavalry. Nice. Just finished my Reaver Titan that I started last weekend.
Oh, cool. Pictures. Post it to Tale of Spruce.
That's the point. So if you don't know, we're doing a kind of monthly Tale of Gamers style thing called Tale of Spruce. And rather than having to focus on just one army or even game system, basically we just want to see your hobby progress over the course of the month. So stick them on social media if you've got them. Hashtag Tale of Sprues. If you do not have social media, if you email them to spruesbrews@gmail.com, we'll get them up on the website. It'll be really cool. And we're really nosy and we just want to see them, Steve. So send them over.
Especially if you're tired.
Anonymous Rex says spiky trim on the Marines. Wish Havocs could go in Death Guard. Yeah, I think we'll see that with all the god-specific armies, them pretty much being their own self-contained army. I think when the I guess it'd be World Eaters next, I reckon.
But World Eaters are the only sort of one of the major legions that haven't had any love across all editions, isn't it? Really. And we've always been sort of hearing rumours of Armageddon and Angron, but so far nothing's materialised.
No, I mean it's in the core book. That was a year ago now. The Red Angel returning.
We had? Was it Mortarion?
The last Primer we had was Magnus. No, it wasn't. It was Mortarion with the Dominion stuff, wasn't it? Not Dominion. What was it called? Dark Imperium. Is that the name of it?
Yeah. Because we got Gilliman in the end times, didn't we?
Yeah, and we got Mortarion around the same time as well. I think he was in that same bit of run. So yeah, I mean, obviously the Emperor's Children, we could get full. I just think.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
With it's kind of been telegraphed so much in the core book, hasn't it? The Red Angel returning, and from a model's point of view, they desperately need new Khorne Berserkers, don't they?
Yes, definitely.
You know what? We could see Khorne Gores there as well.
You could, yeah.
Because they're a nice dual-purpose kind of army. But yeah, I've got to say, I'm really enjoying painting these Chaos Space Marines. I mean, it's nothing too complex today. I'm essentially just colouring in. But sometimes that's all you need to do. Just colour in and stay in the lines.
Is there any particular model that you're thinking you might add to your word bearers that currently, like, I know they got the demon engines and the spidery.
I've got one here. There's the Lord Discordant.
Yeah.
Which is the I can't get him out. But yeah, the big kind of like hero riding a big demon engine. I've got a what are they called? The Forge. Are they called Forge Fiends? The dual kit demon engine that they do. It's quite old now.
Yeah, the
Mauler Fiends and Forge Fiends.
Yeah.
So they've got one of them. I might have to pick up the other one just so we've got both variants. And I feel I need to have a Helldrake in the army as well, because obviously this is going to be a very demon-focused army, and when I use them, they're probably going to be used alongside demons. So
yeah,
I feel
cool.
And it kind of fits with the word bearers as well, doesn't it? I want to have some possessed in there. I'll probably use the Gorval Brack models from Forge World. There's that really nice named Contempted Dreadnought, which I might have to throw in, even if I just use them as a Hellbrute or something.
That looked really cool.
I forget his name as well. They've got is it Zardu Lyak, the sorcerer, with his blade guard. I might pick him up and use him as a sorcerer. And again, all this can then serve double duty in a 30k army as well. Then
you've got the Ashen Circle as well. You could use them as Raptors.
Yeah, I see. Only thing with them, Raptors are far cheaper to buy, and there's not really a lot in them, like model wise. So they're probably lesser down. I'd add them for my heresy army, but from a 40k army, I'd probably just use the Raptors because it's like 20 quid for a box, isn't it? But yeah, so a lot of the stuff though I'll be able to use in both. Oh, how about a slaughter brute? Says Anonymous Rex.
Slaughter brute. What's the slaughter brute? Oh,
Slaughter
is
brute,
that the
big.
hell brute?
No, it's in Slaughter brute, the big red gribbly monster thing. It was in a dual kit with the Mutalith Vortex Beast.
Oh right, okay, yeah, I know which one you mean.
I might be wrong. I might be wrong there. I've let the side down with my demon knowledge, if so. Yeah, definitely demonic flavoured stuff needs to go in this army though. And then hopefully when we get finally the Chaos Space Marine book, we see new cultists. I hope we see a very Lost in the Damned style theme with beast men and stuff being able to be taken. Because that then makes it a bit more distinct than just spiky Space Marines, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I mean, you can still do a, Traitor Legion if you want to, but it also frees you up to have all the cool, the cool stuff that we saw in Blackstone Fortress and very much teased that kind of direction. I'd love to see all that as a proper army. Warzone Charadon Book 1 heavily hints at the Dark Mechanicum.
Oh man.
And that'd be, I think your faith in the Emperor would possibly waver there if there was Dark Mechanicum models.
I mean, yeah, I do like Dark Mechanicum. Well, I like the old heresy Mechanicum stuff. Do you like the big Thanatos siege engines and stuff like that? I mean, I'm really interested in the Grey Knight army, to be fair, as my next.
Well, the stars may have aligned for that if they're in that battle box.
Yeah, that's it.
So that'll be cool. And that you could do a nice little crusade army of Grey Knights, couldn't you?
Yeah, definitely.
I think outside these guys, I really want to see a new demon book for both systems. I think with Be'lakor now in the mix, that is something we might finally get for Age of Sigmar, where before you could do it in a Grand Alliance, which isn't really a thing in AOS 3 anymore. And again, you can still do it using Bellacor's rules, but from a gameplay point of view, it'd be so much easier having one book with all those demon rules in, with a new allegiance ability built around Be'lakor, kind of building on what he got in Broken Realms Be'lakor. I think that'd be really fun, and a different style army than the other Chaos God armies then as well. That's my wish list for AOS 3, and it means that at the same time they can then release Codex Demons for 40k as well. And again, they tend to put those close to each other because it's essentially the same miniatures range over two systems.
Yeah.
And if Heresy's coming back as well, I could do my demons in there as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got my Custodes for the Heresy, which there's a couple of units I want to add to them as well. But I'd love them to add some new demons, a new, unaligned demon.
Yeah, especially with Be'lakor back. We've got Furies, haven't you? But some more unusual demon Raptorixes. Give them the demon keyword and give them access to that. Some of the weird monsters and stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking as well, new demon princes and stuff.
Yeah. So every demon you've essentially got an infantry, a cavalry, an elite, and in some cases a swarm, haven't you? Plus a big gribbly greater demon. So it'd be good to have that kind of mix of 4 or so different types of unit unaligned, and that kind of feels like a release wave then as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A new greater demon, unmarked greater demon, new demon infantry, new demon elites, and a demon cavalry that are essentially demons of Be'lakor, for want of a better word.
Yeah.
And then again, that lets you then double down and focus on them for additional benefits, or you have your general mixed army, maybe have some kind of animosity thing in there. We had a bit of a running joke on the podcast a few weeks ago, I think, where I kept throwing out ideas for armies with animosity. I wonder if we see that back in the Orruk War Clans. Probably not, because it was really the the goblins and the orcs.
It was
get on, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I think in the original Orcs and Goblins army book, orcs did used to suffer from animosity, and used to take black orcs, didn't you, to sort of
beat them into sense and stop them from messing around.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool to see, to be fair.
Yeah. I think it might be a bit too hindering in match play games for.
I think so. I think that's where it went. Unless there was a real benefit for it, maybe occasionally
a trade-off. Yeah.
Your orcs become amazing because they're trying to outdo each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. While they're funny, mechanics like that can often not be fun in the middle of a tournament where you lose because your army started fighting with itself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many tournaments there were from the old Warhammer Fantasy. It's only a thing I've sort of come aware of with Age of Sigmar, really.
Yeah, I mean, there was a tournament scene, but certainly in the latter years of Warhammer Fantasy, where early editions of the game were a bit more freeform and, dare I say it, narrative.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd even go as far to say this edition of Age of Sigmar feels a lot more like earlier editions of Warhammer Fantasy, especially with a focus on heroes.
Yeah, definitely.
And heroic recoveries and heroic actions and monsters. Yeah.
I'm really excited to see all that, because I don't know about you, but that was always my favourite part of Warhammer, the big monsters and the heroes. Yeah, it's cool having big blocks of troops, and again, I guess the new kind of victory conditions encourages you to reinforce those units. You like your Lumineth, you've got gleaming kind of phalanxes of elves, haven't you?
Yeah.
Rather than little throwaway units that are going to get killed.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, there's not many throwaway units in a Lumineth army.
No.
And they don't really have any. There's no real. If you look in some armies, like if you look at the Orruk war clans, then for example, you've got your Maw Crushers, your War Bosses and Maw Crushers, your Gore Grunters, who are like your big heavy hitters. You can point them at a unit and do a lot of damage. Other armies have got similar things. Khorne have got the Bloodthirsters.
Yeah.
Ogres have got their Frost Lords on Stonehorns and things like that. There's not really any of that in a Lumineth army. They feel more like a proper military force. Really, their strength comes from synergizing with similar units and just your basic infantryman buffed up with supporting mages and units of sentinels unleashing fire. That's where they do the damage. They have to work well together. They're a bit like the Craftworld Eldar, really, in that regard, where you have individual units that have to work well together to get. They're greater than the sum of the parts. I mean, a Stone Lord one-on-one against any unit, a Frost Lord, sorry, in the Lumineth army would just take it out. A Maw Crusher would take out any unit in a Lumineth battle tome, but Lumineth units working together can give the Maw Crusher a run for his money.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely a powerful army, but I think you need to be a skilled player to make use of that, because you've got to know all those synergies and how to, support the units, haven't you?
Yeah, when to use your Aether Quartz, which spells to cast on which units, and of course, one of your key spells doesn't go off. You need to have a backup plan to deal with the fact that spell's not gone off. They're very reliant on getting those buffs and things and working well together, whereas a Maw Crusher you can just point off. It doesn't need any support. It just does what Maw Crushers do.
Yeah.
So it is cool. So so in this edition where it's all going to be about monsters, it's going to be very interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing what tactics I'm going to have to use with Lumineth to deal with all of the monsters we're going to be fighting, because really they've only got the mountain spirits. They're the only real monsters that Lumineth have got, and they're very slow. And they don't have, compared to other monsters, they haven't really got the stat line of like a Maw Crusher or anything like that, where they're doing a ton of damage. They're more like anvils than anything else.
Yeah, well, you have got access to Mega Gargants, as does every faction in the game.
Oh yeah, as a you're right,
mercenary.
as a mercenary, yeah.
So yeah, so Anonymous Rex says it'd be nice to see a Unbound Demon Legion. That'd be really cool. Grace here, as long as it doesn't go to 5th edition Warhammer Fantasy Battle. So 5th edition was Hero Hammer. It was lovingly called, where it was pretty much all about the heroes. I think there's a nice balance in Dominion. You still need those blocks of troops, don't you? Heroes are very good, but they're not going to win the entire battle for you.
No. And I think as well the way they're doing the seasons now can also help with that. You know, you may find one season is quite focused on heroes, but then the next season is focused on infantry. The next season is focused on cavalry.
And that's really nice. It means that every year, if you're being a bit cynical, you need to change up your army every year. But I like that. It stops the game from getting stale. You know, I guess we're a bit unusual. That we tend to pick up all the options and paint them anyway. So it's quite nice if stuff that maybe you haven't used this season rotates into your army next season. You know, I guess arguably that's what collectible card games do, isn't it?
Yeah, and like you say, that does give you the opportunity to get a whole army painted. Because, you know, this year you're working on this side, then next year, rather than picking up a new army, you carry on working with the army you've got and get the cavalry sorted.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I'm liking it. Now it's worth saying we haven't actually played any match play yet. I think we need to.
No, we haven't.
When we can, I think we need to try a 2,000 point game with our armies and using the general's handbook. And I think it's going to be a completely different game than the Path to Glory games that we've been playing.
Definitely, and like you say, it's not all about objectives now. There's lots of stuff going on in a match play game now.
Yeah, the secondaries. I forget what they're called.
Battle tactics and
battle tactics. Yeah,
certainly.
That is going to be an important consideration in what order you do them. You know, there's some dead easy ones like have more models in the centre of the board. That's a dead easy one to get for turn one if you're going first. You just move in there and get it. But is that something you hold on to when you do the white? You know, say if you've got a combat going on and you've nearly wiped out your enemy's battle line unit, do you let it go in the hopes of taking the tactic to wipe out a battle line unit in the following turn? I think it's going to really change the way you kind of look at what to do each turn.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know, we're not pro players by any stretch of the imagination. We just like to roll some dice and cool things happen. But you know, when we're playing in Warhammer World events and stuff, it's something we're gonna have to keep in mind, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, you definitely need to be considering those because it's part of how you win the game now. It's not just a case of looking where your objectives are. 9th edition 40k is a lot like that as well with your secondaries and your agendas and whatnot. So, you know, you think, it's a bit overwhelming at first, but you soon get into the rhythm of things.
And you build your army around that. And again, that comes back to what you're saying about the seasons. You know that this year you're probably going to want to bring monsters because you get a lot of bonus points for doing things with monsters. But equally, you don't want to be giving away points because there's a lot of bonus objectives that give you extra points if you kill a monster. So, yeah, there's lots of cool stuff. Grace says the seasonal thing will be fascinating. The issue with big monsters is that as gorgeous as they are, a lot of people won't be able to afford £4 £50 plus models. And you know what? That's a valid point.
Yep.
You know, arguably some armies will be better where you fill your behemat allowance. So yeah, it's. I mean, I suppose at the end of the day, it's not a cheap hobby, is it? And
no.
If you're playing on a budget, I would certainly recommend playing Path to Glory because you can have fantastic games with just 600 points.
Yeah, we've had some awesome games.
Yeah, really, really fun, exciting games. So I don't know if anyone in the chat watched it live, but yesterday you had a game against Dave with his Caradrons, and you had what? A handful of units each, and
4 units each.
And it was, arguably quite a simple objective where you had to kill 2 specified units, and he had to make them live. But it was such an exciting game. Even just watching, I was just doing the commentary, wasn't I, and manning the cameras. But I was absolutely invested in the battle.
It was close. It came down to the wire, that game did, and it was awesome. It was basically 2 dice rolls, wasn't it? A model surviving an attack and then a model doing enough damage with an attack to win the game.
And it never felt the point where I think you both had a couple of unlucky turns where I thought, oh no, this is it, it's over. But somehow you both managed to kind of cling on and make it really a close game.
Well, it looked like from the first turn that Dave was just going to be able to focus fire on a unit and then avoid my units that were trying to chase him around the board, then
Yeah.
I thought it's going to be a bit of a cat and mouse here. I'm not going to be able to get it. But then one bad turn of shooting allowed me to catch up with him, and then of course he was then trying to fight trying to fall back with his units whilst I was pressing on to try and get him. And then it was like, oh, who's going to win this priority? Who needs to win this priority?
Yeah, and in fairness to both of you, rusty with the armies. It's a new edition. In the heat of the moment, a special rule you've forgotten or something not in optimal position can make a big difference where every model counts at that scale, doesn't it?
Well,
speaking of the devil, we've got Dave in the chat. How are you doing, Dave? We're just talking about the battle between the Caradron Overlords and the Sylvaneth. We're just saying how at that size game, every single model counts. You can't afford to throw away anything, and it made for such a tense and exciting game. I'm just talking about it now. I just want to roll some dice, Jay.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I can't wait to play again next weekend.
Yeah.
Or at least watch someone play next weekend.
So obviously once we know what the situation is, we'll advertise what we're playing. I'm thinking
we'll definitely be playing something.
We'll definitely be playing Sisters of Battle versus Bellacor's Demon Chaos Space Marine Legion. I forget what it's called. The Legion of the First Prince equivalent for 40k versus Sisters of Battle, because we've got both the armies, we're both painting up now. I suppose the question is, do we do that next week or do we do it the release weekend? We'll have a think. We might do both and do a couple of size games, but I have enjoyed playing AOS, so that is also another consideration. Obviously, if we also get a chance to play a midweek game, I know time constraints is one thing on that, but absolutely up for doing it. We have got Berserk in the chat. How are you doing? Not seen you around these parts recently. What are you working on? Berserk potentially could be somebody that we have up on the stream as well, maybe, if you fancy playing some AOS 3 live on camera.
What armies has Berserk got then?
Jace. You've played Jace, haven't you?
Oh, it's Jace. Right, yeah, I know Jace, yeah.
Certainly Orruk's.
Orruk's, yeah, right. I think I've actually played Jace's Orruk's in a Purple Sparkling Young tournament.
Yeah, I've played him a couple of times at events. Yeah, if you're up for that, Jace, let us know. It'd be ace to have you on the show. Likewise, anyone who is in the nearby area, if you fancy a game, send us a message and we'll try and sort something out. We want to try and get. I think what we've found, as much as I enjoy doing the more kind of cinematic filmed battle reports that then take a week to edit and get up, and they look very, very nice, it takes a lot more time than us just playing a game live. So I think we've kind of decided between us that the focus for us, battle report wise, is very much going to be on the live side of things, rather than we might still do some of those kind of bespoke ones, maybe for particularly big
special
releases.
occasions.
Yeah, but
Horus Heresy might be a good one.
Yeah, it might be. So Berserk's been doing more stuff on the Carcharodons. And you know what? I have got a Carcharodon, that model that Berserk gave me a while ago now, that I really need to paint up on the stream. Uruks and Khorne are the two armies that survived the Great Purge. Khorne Mortals. Excellent. Berserk, have you thought about doing a Path to Glory with them? And slowly building your army over the course of several games and having some awesome games of Warhammer. Because, we have absolutely loved Path to Glory, haven't we?
It's very good. So my favourite way to play. And I've only played 2 games of it. I'm looking forward to seeing the Path to Glory content in the new Stormcast and Orruk book as well.
Yeah, me too. I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I hope that we see a Path to Glory supplement before those books come out as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, we've got the match play one. I'm trying to remember I think for 40k we actually saw the codexes come out first, and then it was followed by a supplement.
Pariah Nexus was it the first one?
Pariah Nexus, yeah. Oh no, sorry, Beyond the Veil. Beyond the Veil was the first one. It was about the Pariah Nexus, and I think that came out after them. So yeah, it might be a little bit in time till we see one, which is a shame because I think we've nearly rinsed through the missions in there. But that's good. We can start moving on to some of the open play and match play missions once we've done them all.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's not necessarily a situation where we won't want to play a mission again, because I think every match play, every Path to Glory mission we've played has been really fun.
Yeah, well, and that's it. I mean, it changes as well with different armies, and obviously you flip it around. Imagine if it would be me trying to break out of that game with the sort of left and Dave was surrounding me.
Yeah.
I might have run in one direction. Dave can use his frigate to fly high and land there to cut me off. So yeah, I think we're going to get enjoyment out of those missions, and hopefully we don't have to wait too long until there's some more as well.
Absolutely.
Right.
So Berserk's thinking about doing Path to Glory with Nurgle.
Might be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, you're thinking mortals or demons or both? Earlier in the stream, we were chatting about the possibility of, could we get Pestigors maybe if there was a future Maggotkin of Nurgle book? That'd be really cool.
Yeah, the chaos stuff as well is really suited for Path to Glory, because you can really sort of like chart the progress of like a little warband as it's the champions aiming for godhood.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's kind of clues in the name, isn't it? It's very, very chaos kind of centric. And that's, I think that's, say if we got a new Slaves to Darkness book, the Path to Glory stuff in there would be really fun, because you could see stuff like your Lord becoming a Demon Prince, or maybe becoming a Chaos Spawn, depending on how the gods treat him. You could see like ritual temples as a settlement you could get. Demonic plague forests that attract further demons to your army, all kind of fun stuff. Berserk is thinking mortals. Ace. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's cool. Question is, what do I paint next? So focusing on get these done ready in time for the new Be'lakor book, because it features combined armies of Chaos Space Marines and Demons, so that's why these are the focus this week. But then after that, I'm kind of torn, Jay. I really enjoyed painting the Stormcast. I've got another Dominion set and a load of Vanguard stuff. I could easily get 2,000 points of Stormcast done in anticipation of the new Stormcast Battle Tome coming out. Obviously, I've also got the Cruel Boys, which I really want to build and paint up too, in a more of a classic 90s, very Louise Sugden themed kind of paint scheme. So lots of bright, vivid colours.
Oh, right, yeah, cool.
And then equally, I've got a lot of demons I want to paint. And again, that's another contender for the third Battle Tome as well. So I don't know. I reckon I can get all that done by the time those respective books are out. But it's whether I get distracted by something else, isn't it?
Well, I know you've got 40k orcs coming out, haven't you? So if it was me, I would probably get your Grave Lords finished with the dragons and the Blood Knights, then get the 40k orcs done, and then jump onto the Stormcast or Cruel Boys. Yeah,
that's not a bad shout. I've made pretty quick progress on the Grave Lords as well.
You've not got much to paint, I don't think.
I haven't. No, I could do with painting some of the monsters. I think.
Yeah.
Some of the monsters, and like you say, some of the characters, and then we're looking pretty good. I can rotate in units then as I paint them. And I suppose that's the key thing, isn't it? Getting the core of an army painted. An army's never finished, but as long as you've got enough to be able to use a usable force on the battlefield, that's half the battle then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's see what's going on.
Because you know, in a few weeks' time when those orcs land, you're going to be painting beast snaggers.
Exactly, yeah, and they can't be too far off now.
No, I don't think so.
I mean, alternatively, when they said pre-order, so yeah, you're right. We're talking a couple of weeks max until they're released. So, they could even be pre-ordered the following week, couldn't they? So yeah,
yeah.
I think you're right.
And you've got a lot of Stormcast paint. You've got over 1,000 points of Stormcast paint already.
There's enough Stormcast there to do some games with them, isn't there?
Yeah.
Where obviously, as soon as that Beastnagger box is out, I'd want to paint that up so we can do a crusade with them, because there's probably roughly enough points to do a Path to Glory crusade with them, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely.
There you go. As my conscience, you've worked very well there, Jay.
It means also that, because I find as well, like, you can get hyped for an army, a new battle tome. It's like Sister Battle. The new codex and stuff has really got me excited about Sister Battle. The same could be said for your Stormcast. It's going to be over 2 months since you last painted a Stormcast when that new book comes out. You can get all the excitement going again. You'll have the book in your hands, so you'll know which units you want to paint up and include in your army. And
I'll have the same situation with the Orcs as well, where I'm definitely getting the launch box when it comes out.
Yeah.
And then presumably I've got another couple of months then until the Codex comes out, so then I've got another second wave of goodies to add to them.
Yeah, well, they said there's like 50% more stuff coming, isn't there?
Which I believe they are showing on a preview on Saturday, which is cool.
You were saying, what's the system that the...
The system is, bear with while I check Warhammer Community.
Octavius or something, Octavius.
Yeah, it is the Octarius system. And it's telling the tale of the Orcs fighting High Fleet Leviathan, I believe. Yeah, High Fleet Leviathan. So that's an interesting supplement. So this is, I think, Warzone Charadon gets resolved in the next book. And then the next kind of campaign that we move on to is the Orcs fighting the Tyranids. So obviously, Orcs are coming in, that's cool. But that does point to maybe the next battle tome after Grey Knights and Thousand Suns maybe being the Tyranids. And I'd guess with considerable miniature support.
There was a rumour engine. Remember the rumour engine with the tentacles that we've not seen?
Yeah, so I think that's what we'll see. Maybe as what we on, it's going to be July... October. I'm just thinking traditionally things are out like 3 months out from when they're revealed. I don't think they'll show any Tyranids in this preview. I think it'll be all on the Orcs, and the Orcs I think they said were coming out.
I'm going to disagree with you there, because with the preview being named after the system, I think it would make sense to see something from the thing they're fighting.
I think we might get a tiny tease. I've not said there's any Tyranids in the reveal. They just say that's who they're fighting in the campaign.
Okay.
It's very much been this is about the new Orcs that are coming out.
But the preview is Octarius, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. Obviously we know, I think, did they say October for the Orcs? I think release order, we've got the Grey Knights and Thousand Suns first. A battle box with them, following the Beastnagger box. October, the full Orc release. October, it's got to be done, hasn't it? That makes sense.
Yeah.
Which means... maybe the kind of December, January, they tend to put a big kind of release in. Could that be Tyranids? And then the next preview, we see more focus on the Tyranids. Again, this is all guesswork based on the factions, but it'd be unusual for the faction that the Orcs are fighting not to get a battle tome in the near future.
Yeah.
So turning to the chat, Grace here says Chaos Path to Glory would really vibe off the old realm of Chaos Warbands mechanics or Chaos Rewards. Absolutely. Teldar, I'm doing Skaven now, then it'll be Guard or Stormcast from Dominion. Are you not jumping back on the Orruks after the Guard, Dave? Berserk, I'm also drawn towards the Sons of Behemat to do some crazy conversions on them. Yeah, Sons of Behemat, because you've got quite a small model count army, really lend themselves to going to town with some conversions and making them your own. I've seen some really, really cool Sons of Behemat conversions. Don't know about you, Jay?
I have, yeah. I'm going to sneeze. I hope we get an expansion to the Sons of Behemat book at some point. I mean,
it wouldn't surprise me if we got a new book with a new HQ unit or something, maybe.
Yeah. Just something else to make him a bit unique. And I'm not talking about regular sized people, but I don't know.
Like a bespoke caster. You know what?
Yeah, or a big war machine, a cannon.
That'd be. Or what about like a giant with a big catapult on his back or something?
Yeah.
There's lots of cool stuff they could do. You know, a cannon equivalent being a big, like the Cygor carrying a big boulder or something,
Yep.
but as a dedicated ranged giant. And then you've got so many cool things. It's like the Imperial Knights, where you then pick out of those which you have in your army.
Yeah.
Where you've got quite a lot of freedom now with the 4 different unit options they've got. It'd be nice to have, a dedicated leader, a dedicated caster, like you say, something different, like a weird artillery thing.
Yeah.
That'd be fun, and especially if they do it, because the current kit build's 1 of 3. What they could do is have an altered pose and then another 2 or 3 units as well on the same frame. Exactly the same kind of release strategy they've done for the Imperial Knights as well. If I remember rightly, the sprues are arranged in such a way where there is potential where they could add an extra sprue and make a new Mega Gargant. So
yeah, I'm thinking a Chaos Mega Gargant.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? With the Slaves to Darkness.
Yeah, because Chaos could take giants before. There was the Chaos Giant bits, weren't there, last time, where they had their mutated feet and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be fun. So Path to Glory, Berserk's definitely looking at Nurgle. Berserk says Charadon and Carcharodons have led to some confusing talks to him and Dodgy Roller. I bet. There's too many made up words. See, like a CH like Chimera led me to believe that Charadon is pronounced Caradon, but then that's very close to Caradron, and yeah, we've had similar conversations where it all gets a bit messy. But yeah, apparently Charadon is the pronunciation. We need a little kind of Phil Kelly who pops up and tells us how to say things.
It'll be Wadey, won't it? On the new Warhammer Plus.
Wade on yeah. Maybe we should send in a suggestion for a show. Wade tells everybody how to pronounce words. But there's different accents and stuff throughout the galaxy.
The Zinch. What else is it I always struggle with?
Catacross. Catakaros, I think you often say. Yeah. Which other ones have we got? Abaddon or Abaddon?
Yeah.
I think Abaddon is the Phil Kelly stamped version, but both have been used. Tyranids, when I was a lad, called them Tyranids, because tyrannic.
Yeah.
Makes sense, but yeah, Tyranid apparently is how you say it. So, how about you guys in the chat? Are there any...
all the craft worlds.
Oh yeah.
Yanden.
What's your craft world? Umbop.
Imlock.
Yeah.
Or Melock.
Close enough. So Teldar says, when the Orruk book comes, yep, I'm talking. Oh, when the Orruk book comes out, yes, I'm talking pre-Warclans drop. So that's you've got a couple of months. You've got a couple of months, Dave, to nail some armies. I've got faith, as Andy would say. Berserk says Mega Gargant with a pelt and cloak made from a Cygor and Gorgon. Oh yes, a Mega Gargant that skinned a Gorgon. That'd be ace. And horrific, but ace. Berserk says Catachan. Catachan's another
Catachan, yeah.
mispronounced word.
What were they? What were they? The elite stormtroopers from KG.
Were the Scions, Tempestus Scions?
No, this was the old metal kit. No, not the old metal stormtroopers. There was the metal stormtroopers, and then when there was the Eye of Terror campaign, was it the Kassakin or something? Kassakin.
Yes, I do remember. They were the stormtroopers essentially, weren't they?
Yeah, they were nice models,
or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I forget now. Oh, there you go. Kasarkins, is that Berserk?
Kasarkins. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. There's some tricksy words in the universe, isn't there? Steve Arbor says, not on Friend, Face or Twitter, so I've just emailed some pics. Enjoy. I'm going straight to the Sprues and Brews mailbox.
Nice one.
Here we go. Let's see. This is all very exciting live as I download pictures. Oh, that Titan looks so good. I wonder how this will look. There might be a bit of distortion camera through camera, but can you see them, Jay?
Let me switch back to my other feed.
Some very nice looking Reaver Titan. I'm sure that'll
No.
catch up with you
Oh yeah, I
shortly
can see
with a
that.
little
Oh
bit of
yeah,
a delay.
yeah.
And some gorgeous Imperial fists.
I love the blending on the armor panels there near the ankles, the feet.
Yeah, they are looking really, really great. Thanks for sending those in, Steve.
So how big is the Legion now? What else have you got, Steve? Do you have any of the new, like, what is it, the War Master, sorry.
The War
And the
Master
Warbringer.
Titan. Warbringer, there's been quite a few new kits, hasn't there? I still need to do my Legio Mortis Force myself.
Yeah.
Again, it's prioritising what to paint at the minute. I might, you know what, Jay? I might book off Thursday and get some painting done. I've got some days off to take, and you know what? If I'm off Thursday and I'm painting, I might even throw on a random stream as well. I'm thinking I might. There's no Warhammer TV Monday and Tuesday. Now Monday we record the podcast, but Tuesday, even if it's just me and you guys aren't free, I might do a bit of a stream on Tuesday, since Warhammer TV's not on. That's Steve's first ever Titan. Yeah, you've done a cracking job, Steve.
Nice one, Steve.
Yeah,
It's nice.
Are you planning on doing a bit of a mana pull? You're doing some more because they look so good.
Have you had many games of Adeptus Titanicus yet, Steve? I've had one. But I've got.
Game,
I think I need to figure out how many points I've actually got. I'm pretty sure I've got a Warlord, 3 Reavers, and 2.5 Knights painted. That must be 1,500 points, I think. So I've got enough for a game. I've got enough to make a mana pull.
Yeah, well, we said let us know what points you've got. I can put together a force of the same points because I've got quite a few points of Titans painted. Yeah. I went quite heavy into painting Titans over lockdown, despite us not having a. I think we had one game. I think I had a bit of a. Was Lee playing as well?
Lee's painted. He's gone for the Firebrands, are they? Fire
Tiger Eyes.
Tiger Eyes, that was it. Yeah, they've got the flame motive on. That's where I was getting fire from. Yeah, he did a really good job on them as well. All freehand flame effect. So he's gone chaos. Dave hasn't got one, has he? He was looking at. I can't remember which Legio he was looking at. Whether it was a traitor Legion as well. I know if I was doing a traitor Legion, I had my eyes on the Godbreakers, which was like a sort of pale mint green type colour scheme, which I thought looked quite nice.
Yeah, we haven't actually had a Titanicus release since the Loyalist Legios book, so we're probably due the Traitor Legios book soon. And maybe I'd like to see a Corrupted Titan kit come with that, because that book's likely to have the Corrupted Titan rules in it in the same way that the Loyalist book introduced the War Master. Because really, it's just going to be. I don't think it'll be a different class of Titan. I think it'll be more an upgrade that you can give your Titans, but then that interacts with loads of rules, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So that'd be really cool. And then, again, that's part of the reason I haven't really built my Mortis force yet. Again, just waiting on what is in that Traitor Legion book, and then if there is the option of Corrupted Titans, every Greater Demon that I've built, I've kept all the parts spare with a mind to using them for Corrupted Titan conversions, because I reckon the various like Slaneshi claws and corn axes and stuff, it'd scale quite well on a Warlord.
Yes, definitely.
Obviously you've got the alternate demon heads and stuff, so I'm kind of, as much as I want to kind of rip the cellophane off that War Master Titan, and playing the long game. If I can do Corrupted Titans, I will do. And I know I could just say, sod it, and let's just build them that way anyway. But with Titanicus, I think WYSIWYG's quite important with all the different weapon options and stuff, isn't it? So
yeah,
it more than anything, just to make things easier for my opponent to know what's what as well, because there is a consideration to targeting weapons and stuff, isn't there?
Yeah.
So Steve says I last played it back in first edition. I'm planning to pick up the starter box to run 3 Reavers and 2 Warhounds. Can't remember the maniple name. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's but that box is really good because you get the core rules in there, you get all the terminals, you get some knights as well, I believe. If you can still get it, the the Precept Maniple box comes with a War Master, a Warbringer, a Reaver, and 2 Warhounds, I think, off the top of my head. That's really good value. I don't know if it's still available though. But yeah, I think that was. I don't think I paid any more than 80 quid for it through Element Games, and you'd pay a lot more than that to buy those individually, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, and part of the reason why I want to do my Mortis Force is that then we can get Dave having some games as well, because then I'll have two legions.
Yes.
So yeah, but unfortunately, I think with the current painting schedule, they probably are going to be on the back burner until that Traitor Legion book comes out anyway. But that's fine. There's lots to crack on with and paint, isn't there?
Well, there is, Matt, and there we go. High Lords is finished, I think.
Ooh, should we switch to your camera, Jay? Let me put that up on the main screen. Yeah, she's looking really, really cool. So did you use Duncan's guide for that one, Jay?
It was Duncan's guide, yeah. And it's taken probably about 6-7 hours total.
That's good
following
going.
that guide.
Yeah, that looks incredible. I really like the kind of like dark blue black leather on the legs.
Oh, the cloak, the thing here, yeah. So that was, if I was painting it myself, I would have painted it a Baden black and highlighted it up. But it's actually Corvus black washed with Null Oil, then Corvus black again, and then Adeptus Mechanicus grey and Administratum grey for the highlights.
Nice, yeah. That Corvus black's really good because it's kind of like a grey black, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So you can add shadows to it, which is cool.
Really nice.
I've missed a bit. I need to do a little thing on the bolter there. But I even used it for the weapon casing, Corvus black.
Yeah, she looks so good. Such a good model, that.
She is. It's a really. I've got. She's painted. I've got here 3 of the Paragon suits as well, which are. So I was going to magnetize the weapons on these because you have to magnetize the sort of power pack up to the weapon itself and just leave the arm in. But then I decided no, I'm just going to fit them out how I want them. So my Paragon Superior, she's got a mace and a heavy bolter, and then her 2 Paragon sisters have just got heavy flamers. Well, no, they're Administratum heavy flamers and the Paragon blades.
They look so nice.
Because I'm thinking the idea is these guys are just going to be rushing into like hordes of infantry, and their heavy flamers are going to come in handy there because obviously they're vehicles, so they can fire them in combat.
Ah, nice. Oh, yeah. I'm kind of looking forward to my Orc hordes once they're built fighting these guys.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah, that'd be cool. And the demons with Be'lakor, they can. I'm sure. I know how much you love horrors, but I'm sure some of them armed with flamers can start burning through a unit of horrors.
Well, I mean, that's what these sisters were born for, burning through demons. I mean, that will be perfect if they can. I don't care if the horrors keep coming back. If we spend our game just burning the horrors to come back, and I think they're going to be happy sisters.
Having a whale of a time.
Yeah.
Well, what time are we on? We've got about 40 minutes left of the stream. I've got 4 more Marines to do. And then some of them, it's a little bit patchy in places, but on the whole, they've turned out all right, the red on these. Nice metallic red. So I think I'll get those 4 finished, touch up any bits that are a bit messy, touch up any of the silver. Let me switch over to my camera. Any of the silver that needs just finishing off. Really like this Venom crawler.
Oh, I was interested to see how the technique would work on like the bigger panels, but that looks fine, doesn't it?
So, and then obviously we've got the what are they called, obliterators, and it works really well. I'd be tempted to do my my Emperor's Children for heresy of kind of similar metallic sheen to the armor, and again a purple contrast over silver. I reckon it'd work well for that.
Yeah,
you're going to apply it in a different way. You can't just, if I get, let's say this guy as well. So it takes a little bit longer because you can't just slosh it all over like a wash. You've got to.
Yeah, essentially, you use it almost like a paint.
Yeah, Yeah, you have, and it's turned out really nice. It's actually a lot nicer on camera than it is in person. There's a few little bits where it hasn't caught as well. But a second coat, problem with the second coat, you're gonna have to do a second coat on the whole thing to keep the colour
Yeah,
consistent across
consistent.
it all.
Yeah.
But that's not a big problem really. So yeah, get these 4 done. And then, I mean, that means in the course of a day, I've got all the kind of like main colours on them. And then obviously there's highlights to do and some of the detail and stuff, but that's, you've painted Chaos Space Marines. Working the way around all that trim is a big job, isn't it?
It is, and I think sometimes you can set yourself a task that's just insurmountable, and you end up getting frustrated. And I think aiming for battle ready is a good first step, and then you go back afterwards and
Yeah.
you work on that detail at your own pace. As soon as they're battle ready, they look good on the table, they look good on the camera, they look good on the streams. You get the games in with them, you start enjoying using them, and then just on a stream like this, you just pick up 5 Chaos Space Marines and start working on the highlights on them.
Yeah, you could spend forever edge highlighting them. Arguably, there's not as many edge highlights on a Chaos Space Marine compared to a regular Marine because you've got all the trim. So,
Yes.
but then you've got the, like if you're on this leg, you'd want the kind of inner surface next to the trim highlighted, which is less easy to edge highlight, isn't it?
Well, that's the beauty that regular Marines have, is that you can just put your brush 45 degrees to a panel and highlight it, whereas there you have to go in underneath the trim, don't you? And I guess as well,
a big job then, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And I know when I'm painting like 10 tactical Marines, you can set up a little conveyor belt and you're doing the same bit on each Marine at each stage, whereas with Chaos Space Marines, they're almost individual models. Some of them have got tentacles, some of them have got bionics, some of them have got horns sticking out, and you're having to go pick up different kinds of paint and use different kinds of techniques to paint them.
Well, that's
so
it.
I do think Chaos Space Marines are a bit more challenging.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, during the stream, you'll probably see me looking down to my left, and I've actually got the pictures of each of the models in the box here, so I can see which parts are armor, which parts are weird mutated flesh and stuff. So yeah, it's taking a little bit longer than, I mean, normally I just slap it all on and whack through them. So I'm taking my time a little bit more just because I guess I've got to be conscious to keep the trim not red on these, haven't I? Because then really after this, all I've got to do then is highlight the silver, a single highlight on the uppermost red bits, and like you say, I don't need to go to town, I can come back and do that properly in the future. And then it's really just the cloak, the weapons, the kind of pouches and stuff, and that's, each of those is like a night's work. So I reckon I can easily get this stuff done by the end of the week. And then if they turn out all right, then that's a nice quick army, and I'm set up then for any future Marines that I do as well. I don't know if you do the same, Jay, but I've got one to hand. Yes, I do. I have a notebook for every army that I do, and in it I jot down the recipes for stuff. So here I've got my vampires. So skin, I start with Dawnstone, wash it down with Druchii Violet, and then it's just highlighted with Slaanesh Grey. Dead easy, but it's turned out really nice, the vampire skin. And by jotting it down in a book, it means that if I come back to it in the future, I've got my scheme there. And yours has got an Imperial Eagle on it. You've done a much better job than me, Jay.
I can't remember where this book come from.
I believe it was free with the Warhammer Black Library book collection.
But yeah, I've got my recipes in here.
Nice. Berserk says, due to the warm weather, I've had a lot of peeling issues with the base grey on Space Sharks. Instead of repainting, I just decided to weather those sections for battle damage. That's a really good idea. I don't know if you do the same, Jay, but when you're doing a base and you're dry brushing it, and then a bit of it's come up and you've just got naked sand or something underneath it.
Yeah.
Are you lazy like me and just put a tuft over that bit?
I've done that today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will give. And Dave, if you are still in the chat, if you could link us up, I've picked up some Rival Crafts tufts, who are a sponsor of the show. And if you go to spruesandbrews.com, there is a link, a bit of an affiliate link for them. But their tufts are really, really nice. So when I was doing the vampires, I realised that the Mordheim tufts, I think they're called, the Games Workshop ones, are actually discontinued now. and I didn't have enough left to finish my Gravelord's army. I'd used a lot of them on my Stormcast. So I
Right.
thought, okay, well, I've got more Gravelords painted than I have Stormcast. If I take all the tufts off the Stormcast and put them back on the film, and it was fine, there was no issues with that, then I've got enough to finish my Gravelord's army. And I've gone for a kind of a darker, kind of swampy tuft for the Stormcast. But yeah.
Which sort of makes sense with them fighting the Cruel Boys in the swamp.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought it was a bit more toned down compared to the gold of the armour. And if I reach over, I will show you what they look like. Come on. So if you can see there, we've got, it's not focusing too well, but a bit of a darker kind of like grey-green kind of tuft, and kind of contrast to the kind of the gleaming armour they've got.
Yes.
I'm really
That's
happy
the
with how
sort
these guys came
That's what
out.
I used, similar. Like dried grass almost.
Yeah, exactly. So, and Rivalcraft do loads. They must do about 20 different colours, including some like purples and vivid blues and stuff like that. Which I was also thinking, my Idnith Deepkin,
Oh yeah.
for like coral and stuff, I might pick some of them up. Steve Harbour's got a list building question. So far, my Imperial Fists have Tor Garadon, Librarian and Phobos armour, 10 Intercessors, 5 Reavers and a Dreadnought. 790 points. What shall I add to get it to 1,000 points? 210 points, Jay, off the top of your head. What would you add to a Space Marine army?
Did he say he's got a Librarian?
He has got a Librarian and Phobos armour.
A Librarian. Oh, here we go. Let me have a look. Talk about Librarian Phobos. You definitely need a Chaplain. Chaplains are awesome. Primaris Chaplain, they've got some really cool litanies that would work really well with Imperial Fist, actually, because they can buff the shooting, the hits and the wounds, I believe. I think a Primaris Chaplain, I believe, is around 90 odd points, 85, 90 points.
Yeah, I haven't got the points to hand, sorry.
Heavy Intercessors would be nice in a Imperial Fist army.
Oh, yeah, they're really nice models as well.
5 of those with you get 3 different versions of the heavy bolt rifle, executor bolt rifle, heavy bolt rifle, and I can't remember what the other one was. But I think Imperial Fist, they get bonuses to bolt weapons, don't they? I mean, we're not pros, by the way. You know, if you go to a tournament with these suggestions and lose, you can't complain.
Oh, but Berserk is an absolute gent, and he is grabbing the points now, I believe.
Oh, nice one. I think Terminators are quite good in 9th edition as well. A bit old school. Who was the Imperial Fist Terminator at Lysander?
Yeah.
With the Storm Shield and the Strength 10 Thunderhammer.
Terminators look cool as well. I mean, that's my first consideration. What looks cool? What about some vehicles, Steve? The what's the name of the new light transport?
You've got the Impulsor, which is the sort of light transport. You've got the Gladiator tanks, which are quite cool. They must be around the 200 point mark.
Yeah. So Berserk says 85 points for a Primaris Chaplain. That still gives you some change as well.
How much are the heavy intercessors, Jace? Because they're brilliant and they're really nice models as well. Again, in the Gravis armor.
If we're going tic tacs, they synergize quite well with your Lover Bolt weapons for the Imperial Fists as well.
Yeah. You'll need to post some pictures of your Imperial Fists, because I have a fledgling Imperial Fist heresy army, which will probably be getting some reinforcements later in the year. And I do have a method for painting yellow, but it's quite a time-consuming method. And I'd like a speedier method if there's one out there.
So I did some tests on Imperial Fist, because I was in an Imperial Fist army a long time ago, and the thing that stopped that was the untimely demise of the yellow glaze.
Yes,
basically, so the way I painted, and it looked really good as well. 28 points per heavy intercessor. There you go. Yeah, you could get some heavy intercessors and a chaplain. That would be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I sprayed them Zandri dust and then highlighted them like you would bone. So going through your various bone colours. So you ended up with a kind of, I guess, stone-looking Space Marine at the end of it. And then what you did is douse the entire thing in yellow glaze, and you then suddenly had an awesomely shaded Imperial Fist. So Steve says, I'm far from a tournament player. Vehicle would be cool. Dan from the shop suggested a new speeder. Yeah, what's it called? The Storm Speeders.
Storm Speeders, yeah.
Yeah, they're fun. I mean, they look really cool models as well. And you know what? You've got a lot of Phobos stuff there, so that's kind of like the fast vanguard. So potentially they would be, have some other speeders fighting alongside them. Keeps with the kind of quick, agile theme of the army as well. Yeah,
Gives you some variety, doesn't it? Yeah.
There's a different type of model to paint then as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. Berserk, the points are from the book, not chapter approved, so I might be wrong. If you are, it's only me slightly. I don't think there's been any massive changes in any of those units, has there? Not off the top of my head.
Probably gone down, if anything.
Yeah. They're not melter toting dudes or bikes. I think they got the heaviest points increases, didn't they? Because they're really good.
Oh, those Eradicators, yeah, they were nice, really.
and the Outriders and the little ATV, I think they all got points hikes because everybody built their entire army around them, I think, because they're brilliant. I still need to do the Space Wolves at some point, Jay. But they unfortunately they are right at the bottom of the painting. But what we're going to do,
I was going to say they can't be anytime soon.
No.
I can't imagine them being this, can they?
They've only been in the Indomitors box for a year. They'll be painted at some point.
You know what though? If we get a sniff of Lehman Russ coming out, they'll be right to the top of the queue, I imagine.
They will. What I was going to do is, the heresy Space Wolves come with some like shields with like runic knots and stuff on them. I was going to pick up them, even if they haven't got shields, just look cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they would be cool, and I'd also like, because obviously Space Wolves get access to Blade Guard veterans, but obviously the Blade Guard veterans.
Yeah, put them on the Blade Guard veterans. That'd look quite cool. Obviously the shield's a lot smaller than they have, but I could really play into the kind of like Viking aesthetic, couldn't I? Yeah, no, that'd be fun. Okay, what have we got here?
I'm just waiting for poor Eldar. That's what I want.
Poor Eldar. Well, you know what? We've got Orcs getting love. We've presumably got Tyranids getting love later in the year. It must be nearly time for the Eldar. Because that's a lot of the factions covered then, isn't it?
Yes.
Genestealer cults, I guess.
Do you know what? I'd also like to see Tau get a massive new wave.
Yeah, I'd love to see more Tau auxiliaries.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when the Storm Surge came out, and all the background behind it was that this was a new class of, not battle suit, it was a, what was it? Not battle suit. It had a different name.
Oh,
it was like a piloted thing, or like a multi-crewed siege suit, or something like that.
But you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see a combat suit.
Yes. I would love to see either like a drone sort of close combat unit, AI controlled close combat unit, or an auxiliary close combat unit. But yeah, an actual suit would be cool. And I mean, Farsight's not a bad fighter. And there's in the 8 there's a close combat sort of battle suit as well. So I think they can change the law. They showed that with the Necrons.
That's it. And you know what? The Tau learn things quickly. They've seen that, okay, we might need to have some kind of combat element in our armies. So you do make an unmanned drone robot thing. Or, they just have decent protection in them. You have the Tau equivalent of a Terminator. You're not chewing through that, but it's got a cool laser sword. Maybe it's not as quick and agile as the rest of the Tau. Or... give the Kroot some kind of suit.
I could see the Kroot actually. The Kroot warrior is actually a nice model, and there's lots of scope, I think, to add new Kroot units, and that could be a direction they take the Tau in.
Yeah, and have the Kroot for their, because obviously the reason they don't do combat is because they don't want to lose precious Tau. So they'd rather shoot you from a distance with horrific weapons. But they've got no, qualms over throwing in some Kroot, what would you call them? You'd have some kind of new unit, wouldn't you? Like a Kroot Brave or something. Do you want to play on the like Native American aesthetic for it?
That would be so good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be ace.
Like a really glass cannon, stealthy combat army.
Yeah. Kind of.
Gene Stealer cults, which are like shooting, sort of jumping out, ambushing. They've got a few melee type units, but they really specialize in getting a jump on you and throwing demo charges, whereas the Kroot could be getting a jump on you and slicing your throat.
Kroot trappers that have maybe lay in the ground for days in advance and then pop out. That'd be ace.
Yeah.
So Berserk says, Matt, if you want to make easy round shields, take a 25mm base, remove the rim, and then add some Space Wolf decorations. That's a great idea.
Yeah, they're quite good size as well there for primaries.
Yeah. He also says, Jay, I have the same mug.
This one. I'm pretty sure this was a mug. Did David buy me this mug? Well, look. Case of emergency. No, Dave bought me one years ago for my birthday. Go on, Matt. Sorry,
I'm gonna go on. No, I'm being silly.
It's got like a big poem about how awesome Jason is and what a great guy Jason is and how good looking Jason is. And I'm like, thanks, Dave. Thanks for buying me that. I've never let him live that down. He must really regret buying me that mug.
He didn't write a rude word on the bottom of it or something, did he?
Maybe. Yeah, I'll have to have a look underneath it.
I wouldn't possibly repeat it on the stream, but you can use your imagination.
Yes.
Grace here has a question. I should be finishing up my Skaven, but I'm also building the Stormcast from Dominion. Should I wait for the new battle tome to see the Stormhost rules before picking a colour scheme? So I'm very much of the opinion, paint what you enjoy to paint. Pick a Stormhost based on what looks cool. Now, other people might disagree and look at the rules first and decide to make a judgment based on that. Personally, for me, it's all about what the model looks like. I think you're pretty much similar vibes to me, Jay.
Yeah, I just find a colour scheme that you think looks good and also you enjoy painting, because you may love the Blood Angels lore but hate painting red.
Yeah.
There's nothing to stopping you painting a blue Space Marine army and using them as Blood Angels at the end of the day. So, colour scheme definitely comes before rules.
Yeah, agreed. Now, obviously, if you're playing in tournaments, some tournaments might be a bit fussy about the correct Stormhost being used, and if that's a consideration, then yeah, you probably want to wait. But personally, paint mod looks cool. What
Stormhost colour scheme are you thinking of? Which one's taking your fancy?
Now you've had this thought recently as well, because obviously we've all got a copy of Dominion yesterday, and you've enjoyed some of the new Stormcast models. Were you thinking of a particular Stormhost, Jay, or a particular scheme?
Yeah. So initially, I really like the silver armored Stormhost, which I think off the top of my head are the Hallowed Knights. They're like silver armor, blue shoulder pads, and I was sort of set on that. Then over the last couple of weeks, people have been painting up Dominion, and you can see what other people are doing. And I've seen a really nice black armor with the gold trim, which I think is Heldenhammer.
Heldenhammer, yeah, that is the Stormhost that is in my Cities of Sigmar army. I've got a single Marine painted in that colour because he fit into my Cities of Sigmar army.
Yeah. And I think, so I thought, oh yeah, that looks cool. Now then, I did see on the preview yesterday, somebody had converted some Stormcast using some Empire helmet, and they'd painted it in a really gritty silver...
like plate mail armour, isn't it?
Plate mail armour, yeah. And the beauty of this scheme, I think, is that it's a quick scheme to paint. You can get that silver base down and then just... really heavy dark brown washes into the recesses. You don't need to worry about being too neat, and you can really then focus on the faces and maybe some of the emblems and things to really the spot details. So I think that could be a quick colour scheme. Would you go
with the alternate helmets as well? I think they looked really good with them helmets.
They do look really, really cool. So I'm a bit undecided at the moment, Matt. That threw me yesterday when I saw that. It was such a simple conversion, and I mean, it's a well executed but simple paint scheme. But I think that could be a winner.
I believe the heads that they used this in the stream was the helmets of the Griff Chargers, are they? The Demigriff.
yeah,
Oh, Demigriff
Demigriffs.
Knights they're called, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
That was fantastic.
maybe not the cheapest conversion, but if you can get a load of the heads, I don't know how many heads come in that kit to be fair, but I'm sure bit sellers probably have them.
Yeah.
Or it's I guess it's just looking for that classic kind of, I guess, Bretonian style head, isn't it?
Yeah. And I mean, it looked fantastic on that unit. The thing to consider is whether you can sort of extend that sort of scheme across the different units in the army, which I don't know yet, because obviously we haven't seen all of the range. I think it probably is possible. From the swordsmen that we've seen, I think you could probably use a similar sort of conversion on them, and a similar colour scheme would work quite well. The praetors, which are the bodyguard unit, I really like them. I work quite well in that sort of style, maybe with a more elaborate helmet.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe like greatsword helmet, because they've got plumes anyway, to go with the great swords with their like feathers and stuff.
Yeah. So I'm undecided at the moment with the Stormcast. They're not really at the top of my painting list at the moment anyway. But maybe towards the end of the year they may come back if we're not seeing any Eldar and we don't see any Kenofi, then I may have a gap in my schedule to paint something up.
Yeah, I think based on the fact that we've got August, did they say they've got the Stormcast and the Orruk books, and then October a Chaos book. I've got a feeling that's probably going to be the AOS books this year.
Yes,
especially if we've got a big. Obviously, October's then got a big Orc focus with the rest of the release there, and then hints of Tyranid Warriors after that. I think we're probably looking at maybe January for the next AOS army, which in theory should be a big one, because the January release tends to be the big, hey, you've got lots of Christmas spending money, here's a new army that's just come out.
Yeah.
Which is traditionally when they release either new armies or reimaginings of armies, like Sisters of Battle were a January release. What did we get this year? I'm trying to think now. I think this year's been a bit of a different year, hasn't it? I forget.
We got Lumineth. That wasn't the beginning of the year.
Yeah. I think a lot of the release schedule was pushed back as well, because I think maybe the Lumineth stuff should have been out earlier, but we had the Death Guard, which were due end of last year. So yeah, maybe last year's a bad example, because the release schedule was all over the place, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Grace here, it was the Night Incanter from the Start Playing magazine, the first Stormcast I've done. They did Hammers of Sigmar a bit too gold, so they did a test that was part Hammers, part Knights of Azir. Nice. But Anvils of Heldenhammer look great too. Steve Harbour says, did you see Zorp's video converting the new Stormcast into Thunder Warriors? That's a good call. Stormcast are quite a bit bigger than Space Marines, but Thunder Warriors, what have we got? They're kind of like proto-Space Marines, aren't they? So maybe they had more in common with the Custodes.
Maybe, so, I think they were. I think they were a bit bigger than a regular starter.
Yeah, so that might work really well actually. Berserk says Lumineth, Slanesh, and Daughters of Cain. Slanesh, it was Slanesh Berserk. Yeah, that was the big start of year. That was a whole army release.
Yeah.
And that's what they normally put in that January slot. Anonymous Rex says the Raptorix are built amazing. They're really cool models. I think out of the two, I prefer the Furies myself, but I'm a demon fanboy, aren't I? So I would say that. Grace says, what do you think the third battle tome after Stormcast and Uruks they've said is coming this year? Nurgle, because they're so old. So all we know at the minute is that it's a Chaos book. Now, we made some speculation earlier on the show. Could it be Slaves to Darkness? Because there's what looks like Chaos Warriors on the cover of the Stormcast book. You're right. Nurgle is one of the two oldest books still in the range, the other being the Ideneth Deepkin. Nurgle's a good shout, and we said earlier, could we see Pestigore come to kind of give you some more options for the Nurgle army, and also in the same job giving the Beasts of Chaos some more god-specific options. The other thoughts, Legion of the First Prince Battle Tome. That's quite an easy release because you don't need any new models. I mean, you could add, unmarked demons, but in theory, you could just do a book release that essentially compiles all those old battle tomes together, and is a good opportunity to update the war scrolls for all the demon stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a few options. Or Beasts of Chaos, a bit of an old book that really could do with some new models.
Definitely, yeah.
I can see them being more of a big release with lots getting redone personally.
They've got an old range.
And I think if October's focus is going to be orcs, I think the AOS release is going to be a fairly light one, maybe with a new kit or two, endless spells, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it probably makes sense with 2 new armies for Age of Sigmar, well, 2 big expansions for Age of Sigmar, to just rapid fire some books out to get
I think
more
so.
armies up to date, the quicker ones.
Yeah, I think that's probably what they'll do. Obviously, we might be wrong, and it's a bit of an unknown because obviously COVID's impacted things a little bit, and GW have the new factory and warehouse up and running. So, in theory, they can do those big releases more often, because I guess one consideration is the actual time producing the sprues, isn't it?
Yeah.
As much as we'd love it, it's just having the manpower to produce all those kits. With a second factory on the go, we could see big releases more often just because they have the capacity to create them. So yeah, I think
this is true.
All bets are off this year, really, which is exciting. Berserk says Thunder Warriors were taller than Astartes, taller than Primaris probably, yeah. Berserk thinks Nurgle Khorne get some love. Can't wait for the Beast Snagger boys to drop. We'll be converting them over to be Ard boys. Yeah, that's a good call. In fact, a lot of that stuff you could easily slot into an AOS army, and that's interesting timing, isn't it? That it is dropping just before the new AOS stuff, because a lot of people used the AOS stuff the other way in their 40k armies, didn't they?
They did. Yeah, it's like Orc Knobs and things. That new Warhammer Plus Orc as well, I can see making its way into a lot of Warhammer 40,000 armies. Actually, the same way.
Yeah, I think you might be right there too. Yeah, lots of love for the Orcs this year, then, isn't it? Very green second half of the year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to practice painting some Orcs. I'm thinking I might use that new green Orruk flesh as a base. Yeah. I'm thinking Orruk flesh, the Orc wash, essentially similar to this, to basically just add some definition over it rather than using it over Wraithbone or something, and then highlight up with the usual green colours. I might have to do. I've got some Orcs kicking around somewhere that I can do a bit of a test on.
Your practice on, yeah.
I'm thinking white armour, like the studio army though, proper mucky and grimy and.
I really like that
up.
white. It reminds me of my Tau Viola army, which is sort of similar.
Also spongy
like Corax white. Yeah, which suits the Orcs.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I think I'll probably do that. And presumably Warhammer TV will be doing some videos on that scheme as well, if that's the studio colour this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe it. It's 8 minutes till 9 o'clock, Jay. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun. It always seems to go quickly. And you know what? I've not even finished this unit. I've been busy gabbing.
Oh, I'm taking it easy today. I've had a big day painting today, so I'm just I'm gonna get this last system. I've got some models based, ready for spraying tomorrow, and then I can get cracking on again.
Yeah. Well, should we? Once I've done this model, we'll have a bit of a roundup and show off what we've painted, and then chat about what we're going to do in the coming week. I think he is very nearly done. I need to get hold of some word bearer transfers. I realised in each of the boxes there's word bearer transfers, so I might have enough.
There's a nice transfer sheet on Forge World, I think, for the word bearers as well.
But if you look on get this under the camera, you get quite a nice block of word bearer ones on here, including it hasn't shown up on the camera, but there's some script blocks as well that you can cut out and put
nice.
The script. I'm thinking for some of my characters with exposed heads, they've got to have tattoos, haven't they, with script on?
Definitely.
Obviously, that'll be a case of leave the head separate from the model because I'm not going to want to paint that attached. And really, again, that'll be on the kind of the the Forge World models that I'm going to pick up as part of this force. So yeah, that's not bad going. I've almost painted all the red on an entire Word Bearers army today. I'm happy with that.
Yeah,
Because
no,
that's probably the most
nice.
time-consuming part of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, are you ready first, Jay? If I switch over to your camera,
Yeah.
do you want to talk through what you have been up to?
So, you can probably see if I move these guys a bit forward. These are the Celestial Sacrosancts, I think they're called. The new elite bodyguard Sister of Battle unit. These are awesome models, absolutely awesome. I built all mine with anointed halberds because I really like that sort of medieval sort of guard type pose you can get with them, with the big shield and the big halberd.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah. The superior, she has a spear, which is really cool. So I've given her a melter pistol next to her shield because I don't have many melter weapons. I've not built many melter stuff. It's all flamers. I've just gone for flamers, really.
All the flamers. You need some melters in there, surely.
Yeah, that's it. So I think I need to, my next squad of sisters I build, I think I need to give them melter guns. So I've got them based, and I've just been building then some regular battle sisters. I've got 30 battle sisters actually in total.
Nice.
So I think I've got about 18, 19 of them built now. I haven't really got. I've written a 1,000 point army list actually, but I do need to buy an immolator before that's complete. So I might have to swap something else in if I don't get the immolator built in time. I'm gonna finish off Celestine, so I've just got the sort of little like ribbon things and the base just to get her finished. Just give me another unit choice in bigger games. And then this is the model I've been working on today, which is the new High Lord, Morven Val. And she's pretty much finished. I've got to highlight a few of the skulls on the base. But other than that, she's done. Really happy with how she's turned out.
You've done a great job on that. And you've turned that out today?
That's just today, yeah. So it has been like a solid day of painting it, to be fair. But yeah, it's just such a nice model and really, really fun to paint. And do you know what? I really hope the Adeptus Custodes range gets expanded with a similar kind of concept, a sort of suit of armor that they can pilot into battle. It's really, really nice. I mean, she's got a custodian weapon here, this big spear. But yeah, it's a pretty simple colour scheme, really, and I'm really impressed with how the bone has turned out. This ivory type
that's cool.
things on top. Really simple, wraith bone with snakebite leather over the top. Skeleton horde, sorry.
Awesome. Are you whacking some glamour shots up on Twitter after this then, Jeff?
Yes, I'll get some proper shots up. Yeah.
Awesome. That looks really cool. I'm really impressed. That's really good going in a day.
Yeah. Cheers, man.
Well, I've got not as exciting, I'm afraid, because it's just lots of red on Chaos Space. Let me move this camera out a little bit so you can see better. So yeah, we've got the Demon Engine, and I'm really happy with how that red's turned out. And that's essentially what I've done across the entire army. Just got the red, leaving the gold trim the silver trim in place, and then it's just a case of highlight the silver, get some highlights on the red, and then it's painting all the cables and the pouches and all the kind of gribbly bits. Will take a little bit of time, but
you've done a good job there to sort of around all of the silver sort of trim and at the edge of the panels there.
Yeah, that's been the time-consuming bit there. I've spent more time here, but it means I don't have to touch it up later.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're looking pretty good. The robes are going to be black. Okay. A lot of bone detail on there, a lot of flame as you'd expect. Some of the power packs on these are a bit of a combination of kind of demon-y looking bits and kind of mechanical bits. So there's going to be a bit of variation on there where there's like bone connecting pipes and gold on the actual orbs on the end. So yeah, a little bit of variety there.
For the bolters, the bolter weapons, are you going to paint them black, silver, or keep them silver?
Yeah, so the bolters, I think we'll take them down. This is lead belcher covered with Basilicarum grey over the whole model, and this is kind of like the base for everything. I think they'll be taken down with, what's it called, the black contrast paint.
Black
and then
temple.
Highlight them with silver.
Oh, excellent! Yeah, cool.
For kind of like a dark, because through the black you'll still see the metal, so it'll be like a dark gunmetal, and then put some chips and highlights on with silver is probably the plan. And then yeah, that should be then. I don't know how many points it is, but certainly enough for us to get going with some Crusade games with them. Yeah.
Excellent.
So
Nice
yeah.
one.
So like I say, I think depending on schedule, might try and slot in a stream on Tuesday as well, where I'll probably carry on with these guys. So if anyone does want to see them, tune in then. I will put a tweet out if I am. And then next weekend, we'll be having a game of some description on Saturday, whether it be AOS or 40k with these two forces. Really depends on how much stuff we can get painted in the next 5 days,
Yeah.
doesn't it, Jay?
That's it. Yeah. Can we get a 50 power level force painted in a week? Might be a bit of an ask for me.
So
So
I think
maybe Age of Sigmar.
realistically, yeah, Age of Sigmar, maybe the Soulblight Gravelords fighting someone.
Yeah. Definitely we need to see Soulblight Gravelords. We've not seen them on the table yet since their battle tome.
What about your dwarves? He's a Sigmar force fighting the Soulblight Gravelords. That could be fun.
It could be. Yeah, we could do that. I think I've got the battle tome here that you've given me, so I'll have a read through that and see which. I was Living City. I might just keep them Living City. Actually, that's what I used to play them as, just to give them a bit of maneuverability.
Oh yeah, because you could teleport on the board edges, couldn't you?
Exactly. Yeah. So I'll have a look because they've only got short legs.
Yeah. No, that sounds fun. So that sounds a plan for Saturday, and then next Sunday again, we'll be painting. Realistically, probably still these, and then we can get them done for a 40k battle the following week, which should be when the Warzone Charadon book's out anyway. So that fits quite nicely.
Yeah.
So hope you've all enjoyed it. Oh, Grace here has got a very good question. What's the question for the podcast this week? I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me have a look at my book.
Was it top 3 things from Dominion or something?
I believe it was top 3 models from Dominion. Oh, your top 3 favourite things about the 3rd edition of AOS and Dominion. So I'll put the tweet out after this, and then if you want to share your thoughts on Dominion and share your favourite 3 things from the 3rd edition of the game, that'd be awesome. So I hope you've all enjoyed it. We'll be back same time next week, and maybe a little cheeky one in between as well. But until then, we'll see you all later, and thanks a lot for joining us. Bye.